Okay, here we go. Here and there along the echo. I just had a small glass of milk, so my voice acting is going to be outstanding. So here's a real phone number, I assume. Well, hold on.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
I love that concept, the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, press 0.
Well, I think the obvious thing is to.
For a menu of our resources, press 1.
Okay.
For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options again, press 0.
I mean, I'm not doing camera right now, but I didn't think he was gonna call me out about holding
For
the snake right now.
historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora,
I think we're gonna.
well, if you're dialed into this here
I think we're gonna do them all.
informational resource, then you're a certain kind of beachcombing, bat-calling sightseer. So let's take a driftwood inventory. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For what little we know of the Iron Pariah, press 4. For food and drink recommendations, press 5. To return to the main menu, press 6. To hear these options again, perhaps it's the violent displacement of natural gases. Perhaps the river tilts to face the moon, slowly changing the angle of its surface over time. Some sailors blame corked rocks. Whatever the geological explanation, the islands of the Echo River are mostly transient, rising and diving on some inscrutable schedule. The following islands are presently underwater. The Green Island, island number 8192. The entire 7 plus or minus 2 islands archipelago. New Königsberg, Rock of Magnets, Island of Trivia, Nelson's Island, the Beasley Keys, Rock of Boredom, Water Tree Keys. This list is current as of now. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. discuss these places now in vague and qualified descriptions. For the town with no roads to it, press 1.
Oh man.
For the silo of late reflections, press 2. For the monument to something that we don't remember what it is, press 3.
I feel like we haven't gotten a whole lot of voice
There is
acting.
a town which has its own roads, but which no other roads connect to. They send and receive mail. There is a school, and so on. But what I want to tell you about now is the horses. There are horses living wild in this town. I forget how they got there. They don't stay in stalls. They sleep outside. They walk through the town on the streets or on the sidewalks, and the people of the town think of them as elegant, wordless neighbors. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For the cluttered place, press 1. For the flooding place, press 2. For a list of the places where people can't sleep, press 3. There is a place always cluttered by debris floating along the water. Otherwise, it's unremarkable. In fact, the only way to find it is to notice that there happens to be more trash there than anywhere else around. I wonder why that is. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For secret tourism, forgotten places are the vital spark. Take no pictures here, nor souvenirs. Write no travelogues. We will discuss
So there
these
were
places
no
now in vague
there were
and
no
qualified
options for
descriptions.
number 2,
For the town with no roads to it, press 1.
although there were.
For the silo of... There is a silo so tall and strange that it can take years for an echoing word to bounce from bottom to top and then bottom again. If you wait patiently, you may overhear the conversations of earlier visitors. I once had an argument there with a dear friend, but I forget what it was about, and we haven't spoken since. Maybe I'll go find out someday. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places. For secret tourism, forgotten places are the vital spark. Take no pictures here, nor souvenirs. Write no travelogues. We will discuss these places now in vague and qualified
I thought I could skip it.
descriptions. For the town with no roads to it, I suppose it must have been an important event if we felt we needed to commemorate it. The monument looks like it was a lot of work to put together. I wonder if it was a happy occasion, something we were celebrating and didn't want to let go of, or if instead it was something so horrible that we never wanted to forget it for fear that we'd accidentally do it again. There isn't a plaque or anything. I guess we didn't think we'd need one. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For the cluttered place. There is a place that regularly floods. I first saw this place years ago when an acquaintance of mine, an artist, built an installation there. The work was very complicated. All of her artwork is. I remember it was made from huge piles of recycled newspapers. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to complete it before the flood came and wiped it out. The next time I passed by this place, it was full of young men and women on bicycles. They built a track weaving through the soggy ruins of my acquaintance's flooded artwork. The rising water level quickly made it too dangerous and many bicycles were crashed and abandoned. The last time I saw the place, it had been repurposed to store handmade pottery earmarked for sale out of state. By the time I arrived, there was just a pile of ceramic fragments dashed by floodwaters against rusting bicycles and gray pulp. I've heard recently that this place has been reclaimed again. Surely this time, things will be different. For a diver's guide to underwater islands, press 1. For forgotten places, press 2. For restless places, press 3. For what little we know of the Iron Pariah. The Iron Pariah is just what she's called along the Echo River. Of course, she once had another name, but it's been scratched away, maybe out of shame, or maybe she took a bend too sharply and left her true name on a rock. So, what else? We know she was in the war, but neither side would claim her. We don't know if anyone's aboard. She drifts along the water and commands a wide berth. Tourists, if you hope to document the Iron Pariah, I fear you will be disappointed. She has a beguiling way of vanishing from photographs. Steer to shore and let her be carried along in silence. Pilgrims, I wouldn't dare to interfere. For a diver's guide to for food, press 1. For drink, press 2. To return to the main menu, press 5.
All right, I thought I'd mess with it.
For if you plan your journey along the Echo to be a slow and thoughtful one, you will surely want to eat. It's true, and even advanced preparation can still fail you. Maybe the food you've packed will fall in the water and be spoiled. Or it could be stolen by a bat. Well, the water sustains all travelers. Catch it yourself in the river, or have something prepared for you at this place out on the lake. The restaurant is called, it's out on Lake Letha. It has to be out there where the water is deepest. If you go early in the morning, you might see the diver bring in his nightly haul. Weird creatures from weird depths, fish, crabs, jellies, things we don't have proper names for at this elevation. Sam and Ida's, that's the name of it. Sam dives, Ida cooks. Unique fare and uncommon conversation, to say nothing of the decor. If you do stop by, tell them I said hello, and that they're always in my thoughts and prayers. For a diver's guide. For food, the water is fine, but more adventurous tourists will surely be looking for stronger stuff. Move quickly along past any strangers with cheap bourbon flasks. You can get that hard times rot gut anywhere. If you're traveling by boat, you'll want the traditional seafarer's liquor. As it happens, there's a watering hole called the Rum Colony, wholly devoted to the stuff. You know, mixed with sugar and bright colors. I've heard it's excellent, but I never drink the stuff. I take my spirits clear. For a diver's guide to Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1.
So that's what we just did.
For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear So, you're probably not in any danger, but why are you holding If you're involved in an exchange of some kind, press 1. If holding the snake is part of your spiritual practice, press 2. If you don't remember why you're holding the snake, press 3. To return to the main menu, press 0. Take another look at your snake. Not a bad snake, is it? Yeah, it's really nice. You got a good one. Can you bear to see it go? What's the other party bringing to this here swap? Press 1 if you still plan to go through with the trade.
Oh,
Press
man.
2 if you're having second thoughts. Yeah, well, you're probably right. All right. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work on this here snake situation. What you're going for is a kind of gestural conversation. Don't worry. I'll lead you two through it. Give that snake a name and look her right in the eyes and say her name.
Delilah.
I'm going to go with Delia for the
Oh.
purpose of demonstration, but
That's funny.
you pick a suitable name. Try to follow along with me here to the best of your ability. Delia, take it easy now. What if all of this is just a reflection of
Great
a
minds, huh?
reflection? Now hold the silence while she processes that metaphysical curveball. Okay, what's Delia up to now? If she's staring right back at you,
I don't know if we're going to be
press
able to do
1.
all of these.
If she's wriggling around, press 2. And if she's just kind of limp, press 3. Well, your snake may be asleep. It happens. You've got to wake her up gently now. Whisper her something pleasant. Tell her why she wants to wake up. I mean, really convince her. I'll wait. All right, where are we at? If the snake is breathing heavily, press 1. If she's curled around your forearm, press 2. If her tongue is extended, press 3. Okay, I want you to tense your arm muscles and then relax them, one by one. Take slow, shallow breaths. Tense, relax. Tense, relax. Try to focus all your thoughts on that blood coursing through your arm veins. Forget Delia is even there. Just you and your blood. There you go. Delia should be in a kind of a calm, thoughtful state now, so you can move on. So, put that snake in some grass or something. Let Delia be free, like a snake should. And go ahead and wash your hands if you care to. I would. Welcome home. For historical sites along the So, you're probably not in any danger, but why are you holding that snake? If you're involved in an exchange of some kind, press 1. If holding the snake is part of your spiritual practice, press 2. Listen, I'm not here to kid glove your relationship with the Eternal. But how do you think that snake feels right now? I mean, is that snake in church or just you? All right. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work on this here snake situation. What you're going for is a kind of gestural conversation. Don't worry. I'll lead you two through it. Give that snake a name and look her right in the eyes and say her name. I'm going to go with Delia for the purpose of demonstration, but you pick a suitable name. Try to follow along with me here to the best of your ability. Delia, take it easy now. What if all of this is just a reflection of a reflection? Now hold the silence while she processes that metaphysical curveball. Okay, what's Delia up to now? If she's staring right back at you, press 1. Slowly lean in like you're gonna kiss her. You really gotta make an impression here. I mean, it is crucial. Maintain eye contact to the best of your ability. When your face is just an inch from Delia's, let out a slow, gentle sigh. Let your breath warm up that frosty snake blood, you know. Gently. All right, where are we at? If the snake is breathing heavily, press 1. If she's curled around your forearm, press 2. If her tongue is extended, press 3. You just point your tongue right back at her. If hers moves left, yours moves right, and so on. Maintain eye contact so she knows you're not making fun of her. There you go. Delia should be in a kind of a calm, thoughtful state now, so you can move on. So, put that snake in some grass or something. Let Delia be free, like a snake should. And go ahead and wash your hands if you care to. I would. Welcome home.
All right, we've got one more of those, I
For
think.
historical sites along the So, you're probably not in any danger, but why are you holding that snake? If you're involved in an exchange of some kind, press 1. If holding the snake is part of your spiritual practice, press 2. If you don't remember why you're holding the snake, press 3. Okay. What's the last thing you remember? Please describe your memory in as much detail as you are able, paying particular attention to any smells and sounds you may recall. Were you breathing through your mouth or your nose? What did the air taste like? And so on. Feel free to call again with extension 1618 and tell us the whole story. All right. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work on this here snake situation. What you're going for is a kind of gestural conversation. Don't worry. I'll lead you two through it. Give that snake a name and look her right in the eyes and say her name. I'm going to go with Delia for the purpose of demonstration, but you pick a suitable
I think I've got
name.
2 extensions
Try
that
to
we can try
follow
at some
along with me
point.
here to the best of your ability. Delia, take it easy now. What if all of this is just a reflection of a reflection? Now hold the silence while she processes that metaphysical curveball. Okay, what's Delia up to now? If she's staring right back at you, press 1. If she's wriggling around, good. Now you've got her attention. Now, leading with your shoulder, slowly tilt your body to the left, always maintaining eye contact. Adjust your feet as necessary. You want to do a full rotation over several seconds. It's normal to feel a bit self-conscious. Try not to get tangled up in the phone cord, or next time plan ahead and use a cordless. All right, where are we at? If the snake is breathing heavily, press 1. If she's curled around your forearm, okay, gently raise your arm above your head. Delia should just slide on down and come to rest on your shoulder. There you go. Delia should be in a kind of a calm, thoughtful state now, so you can move on. So, put that snake in some grass or something. Let Delia be free, like a snake should. And go ahead and wash your hands if you care to. I would. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1.
So we did that.
For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2.
We have not done that.
For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3.
I like
For
the
a
sound of that.
catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2. If you are hearing organ music, press 3. To return to the main menu, press 5. To hear these options, lucky you. Does it sound like this?
If it gives me options after playing this whole music clip, I'm gonna be frustrated. I don't know why this game tests my focus so much, but I just, I don't know. You have to pay attention. And some of the details are really dry. And they kind of send you off into, they might inspire you to stare off into space. Shit.
Press 1 if that's the music you're hearing. Otherwise, press 2.
Oh dear. Did I lose my mouse
Press
control?
1 if that's the music you're hearing. Otherwise, press 2.
I think I might have.
Press 1 if that's the
Shit.
music you're hearing. Otherwise, press 2. Press 1 if that's the music you're hearing. Otherwise, press 2.
If I just killed my mouse, I'm gonna be. Oh, okay. We got it. We're back. Okay.
Press 1 if that's the music you're hearing. Otherwise, press 2.
Oh man, we're gonna have to listen to it again if.
Press 1 if that's the music you're hearing. Otherwise, press 2.
Let's see.
It's nice though, isn't it? Let's listen to it again.
I think it does it on purpose, and I don't know how I feel about that. The time wasting. I suppose I could hang up and start over, but I don't know. Yeah, but we're probably gonna have to hear it again when I try to do that other answer. There's no torture if you hang up, but I'd have to start over to get to this point, and I forgot, probably at least one thing. This is probably going to be another hour, just like yesterday. Let's see, how does this line up with the drum pattern I made? Yeah, I wonder how they got the phone sound to be so accurate. I wonder if maybe they played it back through a crappy little speaker. Your eardrum is vibrating. Well, maybe get a little further away from it. No need to put up with any unnecessary vibration. Oh, and we're done.
For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2. If you are hearing organ music, press 3.
So,
Return to the
I
main
definitely
menu,
need the cooperation of the chat
to hear
if I'm
these
going to
options
press 3 again.
press 0.
Because I can do 3 and then say, yes,
For a
that is the
catalog
music I'm
of
hearing.
Subterranean birdsong, press 1. For help identifying something.
Here, we'll split it
Now
up.
I'll play you several recordings of Echo River birdsong. When you hear a song you want to know more about, just press 1. At any time, you can press 5 to stop.
I think I missed the instructions.
That's just a pigeon. I believe that's a painted avocet. If you catch him, you can make a nice pigment from his feathers. The peat-breathed riverbill. Keep an eye on that one. They make their nests out of stolen jewelry. The lonesome teal. Ugly, spiteful little thing. That's the American grit viper. Huh? I thought they were extinct. The rock sparrow. Don't feed him. He'll come back with friends. You've got a gray-beaked grouse there. Not my favorite bird. That's a mourning hummingbird, so named because they bury their dead. That's just a pigeon.
Okay, I think we've been through them all then.
For a catalog of subterranean... The wet, rocky contours of the Echo River make for sometimes baffling reverberations that turn mundane sounds into weird, rattling symphonies. Like that. It can be a challenge to pick through the clamor and recognize even something as simple as water dropping in a metal bucket, especially in the dark. Here are some examples. When you hear a sound you want to know more about, just press 1. At any time, you can press 5 to stop. And that was a canoe tipping over from several miles away. That was someone burning a phone book. That was someone tearing up an electric bill. That was a phone ringing underwater. That was a motorboat's propeller failing. That was dirt being thrown on the lid of a coffin. And that was a canoe tipping over from several miles away. For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1.
Alright, we're going back in.
For help, identify... Lucky you. Does it sound like this?
Let's see if I can match the tempo. I always forget that there's just more. There's just more. motherfucker. I've got a Pokemon egg hatching. It's a Joltik, that's right, Joltik. You feel like you're waiting for communion, yeah. And there's a Piplup here. You don't have to paint this. Yeah, I was going to say. It's not a good Piplup. I'm sorry. Goodbye, Piplup. I'm barely playing this game. I just, since the quarantine stuff began, I have had basically no interest in playing Pokemon. Okay. I think we're done with this set of menus.
For a catalog of subterranean birdsong, press 1.
We did that.
For help identifying something that's happening in the dark, press 2.
We did that.
If you are hearing organ music, press 3.
Now maybe I should do that one.
To return to the main menu, press 5. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2.
I don't think we did that one.
For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3.
We did that.
If you're holding a snake right now, press 4.
We did that.
To hear these options again. For different types of water, press 1. For the language of bats, press 2. For insect interactions, press 3. To return to the main menu. If you stop your boat somewhere cool, you may find yourself swarmed by insects. You may swat at them or cover your face thinking they're all trying to bite you or buzz in your ear. But these insects are more interested in each other than they are in you. In fact, they've already forgotten you. They're back to chasing each other, breeding, competing over resources. Their minds are so shallow that while you've been standing there with your hands raised to your face, they've begun to think of you as part of the landscape, a funny-looking rock. This is what they sound like.
Oh, I want it just to get louder and louder and then just distorted. Oh, this goes on for a while. Did it tell me to press 5 to stop it, or? There's just no escaping this one. Yikes, man.
For different types of water, press 1. For the language of bats, press 2. For insect interactions, press 3. To return, many find learning the language of bats to be intimidating. But it's really pretty straightforward. The most difficult part is getting your ultrasonic pronunciation right. See, bats have enormous, complex ears. For us, it's more of a struggle. Here, let's try some useful phrases. Repeat after me so you can practice your pronunciation. Here's how you say, I don't know where I am.
Oh, I thought it was going to be silent.
Here's how you could ask, haven't we met before? Great. And here's how you say, sorry, I must have left it in the boat. Now, a very useful phrase. It's a shame we didn't record that. Every conversation has to end. So here's how to say, I will write that down in case I forget it later. types of water, press 1. For the language, the Echo River is best known for its plentiful waters, not their volume, but their diversity. There's surface water, deep water, big water, and small water. Water that moves quickly, slower water, water in a cup. There's the water you know about, the water you don't know about, and the water you only assume exists due to indirect evidence, like a rumbling sound behind the rock. Cool water, but also warm, and even warmer. Water that gets things clean, water that only makes things dirtier, water's both soft and hard. Water in living bodies. If you come across any other kind of water, be very careful. Call us back and dial extension 0464 just to be safe. For different types of water, press 1. For the language of bats, press 2. For insect interactions, press 3. To return to the main menu, press 5. To hear these... Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options again, press 0.
Do I have to call back and start over?
For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For historical sites
I think I might have to call
along
back.
the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4. To hear these options. Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
So I've got I think 3 numbers. 2 for sure, but maybe a third one that we can try with the extensions, or we can just try some of the other menus.
For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension to dial, press 9. For more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, press 0. So, you don't remember dialing this number. You just sort of woke up with the phone pressed to your ear, ringing on the other end. Or maybe you thought you dialed a different number, but your digits betrayed you. Or there's a faulty connection somewhere out there in that spider web lattice of phone covers all of creation. It must be kind of a nice feeling, really. It's like you and I just bumped into each other in the street or a little cafe. Say, next time you meet a stranger, call us back at extension 7864 and hand them the phone. We'd love to get to know them. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River, press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna,
So that took us
press
to the next
2.
menu.
For a help.
Little did we know this was going to be the whole stream.
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo. A
Alright,
guide
so let's
to the
try.
Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided
Let's see,
by
I can't
the
remember the
Bureau
numbers. I
of
know
Secret
9 is for the
Tourism.
extensions. I think number 3 we haven't done
For a
yet.
menu of our resources, press 1.
We've done that.
If you have an extension to dial, press 9.
Saving that for the
For
end.
more information about our organization, press 3. If you don't remember dialing this number at all, press 5. To hear these options again, press 0. The Bureau of Secret Tourism is supported by a generous population of river creatures whom I fix up and grill as necessary. I am environmentally minded, and I believe all creatures are equally deserving of support in their transition to the next world. So I usually try to sing a little elegy, like, small water creature, crab or frog. Now you know that sleep is all around us, like a muggy, tranquil fog. Something like that. It's easier to come up with these songs when I'm hungry in a sort of transcendental fasting state, but I've actually just had breakfast. A debt of gratitude is also owed to the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces, who unselfishly and unknowingly donates this here telephone line for the purpose of this here informational resource. You can always find the latest secret tourism literature in any of our unmarked kiosks or any other old place it happens to lay. That's all I have to say about that. Hey, do me a favor. When you get a chance, call us back at extension 1928. You can press 0 now to go back to the main menu. Welcome home. For historical sites along the Echo River,
Emily is not ready to move on, alright? It won't let me skip it. Okay.
hello. You have dialed into Here and There Along the Echo, a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu of our resources, press. Now is the time to dial an extension.
Okay, you guys ready?
Now is the time to dial an extension.
All right, no 6969.
Now is the time to dial an extension.
All right, let's see if this one works.
For a menu of our resources, press 1. If you have an extension, now is the time to dial an extension. For a menu of our resources,
It's interesting
press
that
1.
one
If you have an
skips us
extension
back.
to dial, press 9. Now is the time to dial an extension.
All right, 8192 doesn't do it.
Something else shook loose. Well, how vivid is it? I mean, can you really smell it? Are you sweating it out now? Are your hands all damp? And when you brush your hair out of your eyes, it just tastes like... Listen, if your hands are damp, press 1. If your feet are damp in your socks, press 2. If you don't feel particularly damp anywhere, press 3. Oh, everyone has a damp spot somewhere in their body or mind. That's what lets us sort of squish a little when we try to remember something. Muddy the details, right? Even if it's just that wet blood sloshing around in there. Your soggy heart, right? Let's hear all about it. When you're finished explaining yourself, press the 0 button.
Oh, just so full of blood. I am just teeming with blood. Here we go. Just a real damp and bloody inside. That's what I am. Just a sack of damp, really.
Welcome home. For historical sites.
Are you guys bored? Is that what's going on? Does someone want to look up if there are other numbers I can type in?
Hello. You have dialed into Here and There, the Echo, a guide to the Echo River.
What are you
for
begging me?
visitors and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism.
Stop what? Stop this?
For a
Just
menu
speaking
of our
complete
resources,
sentences and
now
maybe...
is the time to dial an extension.
Okay. We gotta pick one of these.
Found some weird water, huh? All right. We better catalog it. Hold the phone up to it for a bit, and we'll record it for later analysis. Press 0 when you're done.
All right. We're hearing some water. Here's
Welcome home.
okay.
For historical sites
These
along
aren't that
the Echo
interesting,
River,
but
press 1. For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For help identifying an unfamiliar sound, press 3. If you're holding a snake right now, press 4.
we have two more to do. I mean, if you guys are hating it, I can stop. But I mean,
Hello.
I find this more interesting than the
You have
play in the
dialed
last
into
chapter.
Here and there along the echo, a guide to the
Speedrun
echo river
strat.
for drifters and pilgrims.
So,
This guide
frame
is a
perfect
public
entry
service provided by
of
the
9.
Bureau of Secret Tourism. For a menu, now is the time to dial an extension. Hello, stranger. What's the first thing you remember? When you're finished remembering, press the 0 button.
Oh, what's the first thing that I remember?
Hello, stranger.
Oh.
What's the first thing you
This one
remember?
repeats.
When you're finished remembering, press the 0 button.
I was 4 years old in the front yard of my house, and I was telling somebody
Hello, stranger.
that I was 4 years old,
What's the first thing you remember?
using the 4 fingers on my
When you're
right
finished
hand.
remembering. Welcome home. For historic.
There's only one more. Unless you guys want to look up to see if there's anything else that works. Let's just take a minute.
Hello.
Hello.
You
You
have
have
dialed
dialed
into
into
here and there along the echo.
a guide to the Echo River for drifters and pilgrims. This guide is a public service provided by the Bureau of Secret Tourism. Just entertaining myself, that's all.
For a minute. Now is the time to dial an extension.
Okay. 1, 9, 2, 8.
I just want to listen to the wind blow. Or even better, television static. Can you tune your TV to a dead station and let the static play into the phone? When you're finished, press the 0 button. Thanks. Welcome home.
All right,
For
everyone.
historical
That's all I've
sites
got.
Along the Echo River.
Unless anybody
Press
has some
1.
requests.
For a guide to the river's flora and fauna, press 2. For a help.
Do we have any requests? Also, maybe don't call this phone number, but if you do, tell me what happens. If it's the same stuff, that would be so funny. Okay, no requests. Yeah, let's go. Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, at least I don't feel like totally dead on my feet like that. Oh man, that play kicked my ass. Just like made me forget I was alive. Like I'm a rock. Oh, we're not doing the organ music again. No, fuck that. I'm sure there will be some outstanding music in this chapter. All of the music in this has been outstanding thus far. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, this is the back of that boat. Animatronic mammoth. Don't look up dad jokes. Look up some mom jokes. Manual 5.4. General wear on the gestural gear mounting apparatus 5A-1 may result in undesirable play between teeth in the context and history state machine gears, causing stuttering, slippage, resetting, skipping. Guess it could be slippage. So Will was the guy we were just listening to, but maybe this is younger Will. I don't know. If left unresolved, gear slop can gradually throw limbs out of alignment, blend motions, and decontextualize gestures. See also Section 1.8, General Troubleshooting, and 5.3, Gesture Context. I want that gesture context. 5.3, Gesture Context. All gestures happen in a context, the set of preceding gestures, the overall orientation, and extended variables such as time of day and interior affect gear angles. That'll do, book. He throws it into the river. Must be missing a page or something. Maybe I ought to read it back to front. And then we're going to talk to this person. Yeah, daughter. Mom, I need my personal space. Mom, you came out of my personal space. Yikes. I think we ought to read it back to front. I'm not... My savior, our friend is here in a bad way. Any insights? Junebug. Try to stay clear of high voltage these days. Time to put that mammoth out to pasture, Will. I don't at all blame you, especially down here on the water. I mean, sure, it's dangerous, but this is where she lives. And what brings you down to the Echo tonight? I always end up here eventually. The river's like that, it always has been. We picked you up at the Bureau tonight. Never seen you that far upriver before. Hope that doesn't mean you've been traveling on the Zero. Yeah, have you been there? The Zero? Oh no, not me. This old river rat steers clear of weird highways. I've been traveling this river for more than half my life, more or less alone. I think I've seen it change quite a bit in all those years, but I can't say for sure. The water has a peculiar way of making a person forgetful. Some nights I remember a place, but it's full of strange new people, and some nights I meet an old friend on an unfamiliar shore. Oh man, these mom jokes are rough. Why is a computer so smart? Because it listens to its motherboard. Whew. I feel like dad jokes are just unforgivable puns, but the mom jokes are all, No, that's a dad joke. What do you call a small mom? Minimum? Minimum? The mom jokes have a lot more to do with, you should listen to me. You should do as I ask. I mean, not that I had any concept of what a mom joke would be when I asked for them. I was just trying to throw a wrench in the works. Okay. I wonder which kind of night this is. Act 4, Scene 1. The Mucky Mammoth. Do I want to talk to Will, or do I want to talk to Kate? I don't know who I'm playing as at the moment. Is that, oh. There's Homer. Sinclair. For we are mold and whiskey fed. And, oh, it is Shannon, okay. Wet gears. Wet gears? Probably. Who knows? First thing I tried anyway, down here by this little blue box. I took all the gears out and dried each one by hand, and then I loaded them back in again. I took care of the grinding sound where the trunk keeps doing that sparking, clanking, weeping thing. To be honest with you, I'm not really qualified for this work. Kate's a friend. You know how it is, don't you? How do you two know each other? Or what's your story, Will? How do you two know each other? So, ever walk through rolling farmland? Just drove, I guess. Right, nobody does it unless it's their land to farm. I mean, they'll walk from barn to tractor, tractor to truck. Well, I sure did. I slipped under or over fences, and I walked barefoot with the seeds when they were just planted and tilled the earth with my toes. Yeah, he's not wearing shoes. Also, I'm not wearing shoes, but he's not wearing shoes. Yeah, I should tell you where I left my shoes. Did you know I'm a classically trained organist? It's true. Look at these long fingers and pedal-gripping toes. Doesn't matter, a minor in French literature earned me a position teaching Artaud Cizolo at the university. Well, some shitty governor cut state funding for our department, and I was demoted to mopping floors, running wiring through walls or in dangerous places. I even operated the soundboard at the student theater. Left my shoes there at the university. It was a protest, walk without shoes for something important or tragic. I ended up by the shore, and soon I was drifting along the Echo. It ran for a while above ground, doesn't anymore, but I prefer subterranean waters anyway. Kate brings me along, and I record what I see and hear, try to help with maintenance, so drop off the mail and pick up the trash on occasion and take the helm. Anyway, that's all I try to remember anymore. I listen to the river stories, and my own stories get fainter and fainter. Oh, if you talk to Kate, could you ask her when she stops for gas, could she pick me up a scratch ticket? Thanks. Oh, that looks good. There are 3 dogs. How's the cold river spray treating you? I saw you squinting. It's hard water, you know, hard on the eyes. Still irritates mine a little, and I'm piloting a tugboat through it 6 nights a week. Don't be too shy to close them in public, your eyes, I mean. People just assume it's awful. You need tea. Horse mushroom, then. It's in a little green box with a drawing of a moth on it. There's a jar of greening goat's foot under the table, keeping cool and dark. Give a solid fingerful and let it steep with turkey tail fungus 30 seconds, then throw it out the window. What are all those for? Eye strain, horse mushrooms, masks the taste of the rest of it. Turkey tail fungus in particular has an eccentric flavor profile. It's mushroom based. I'm a big believer in fungal pharmacy. How's the water looking tonight? The Echo is dicey tonight. Bad luck for you. Expect waves and diversions. Dogwood Drive is by the Silo mail stop. But we may need to spend some time on the indirect route before we hit your stop, okay? And there's other business. Mail to drop off, garbage to pick up, and a few favors to execute. All dotted on the riverbanks from here to there. Hope you enjoy the trip on our little mammoth. Take advantage of all the amenities, fresh air, cozy bunks, hot tea, the video room. There's some pretty interesting tapes down there, actually. Unusual, I mean, weird. Watch out that VCR doesn't take your hand off, though. It's untrustworthy. What's wrong with the VCR? I could take a look. Oh, please do. I don't know anything about electronics. Maybe try a few different tapes so you'll get the picture. I saw you talking to Will. He's an old friend. Don't be fooled by that burned-out aura. He's a smart and kind man. I think his only vice is those silly scratch tickets. Speaking of which, we're coming up on our next stop shortly, refueling and picking up a few things. Well, eyes on the road. Haha. Ezra runs up to Shannon. Oh, slow down, it's slippery up on deck. Do you have batteries? Yeah, of course. What for? Johnny said I could use this tape recorder, but it needs a battery. Oh, fun. Well. Shannon searches her pockets. Here's 4 different kinds. Surely one of these should fit. Thank you. And now we're Ezra. So let's see. There's one dog. And then I thought there were 2 dogs on this side. No, or is it? No, it's just Homer. So there's 2 dogs. You got your batteries, small man. Go get you some tape. Let's see what we got in this door. Oh, I see. It's all the same. Maybe. Yeah, it's all just one interior. Oh, I can't go. Oh, why is his arm? Oh no. It cost him an arm and a leg. Son of a bitch. It's a June bug. Really? You were entranced. You don't remember this? Claire, it's okay. We've seen a lot of concerts. June bug. Cyrano opened. His tape machine was broken or something. It got really cosmic. Right, at the flower shop. I remember that's the show. Sorry, Clara. Well, you have a second chance to hear it tonight. That was fast. Got the batteries? Let's see. Perfect. This one will do. So you hit this button here to record. Hold it right here so you don't cover the microphone with your hand. But you'll find a lot of good sounds just around the tugboat. There's plenty of tape in there, so don't be stingy with it. Just record anything that catches your ear. It really changes the way you listen. For the better, I mean. Are you playing a concert tonight? Yeah, Clara here came all the way from Lithuania just to do this Echo River gig. It's a tour tomorrow. I'll be in Nashville and then Atlanta and then over to the coast. Brutal. Well, we're lucky she's making a stop. Johnny and I saw her play once, and I remember loving it, and Johnny was moved. Speaking of Cyrano, it's his night at the rum colony. Kate said she usually stops off there. Well, that's ideal. I'm supposed to meet a lady there to look at some old engine parts about 3 hours ago. 3 hours goes fast at the rum colony, ma'am. I bet she's still there. I hope we don't stop there too long. My concert is soon. I don't want to keep them waiting. It's river time. Nobody expects you to be punctual. Hey, why don't you give that tape recorder a try? See if that cat over there has anything he wants to say. I often use found sounds in my music. If you find some interesting sounds tonight, you can help me out. Ah, the pristine clarity of tape. Guess we're Conway now. Or we're Shannon. You know, it's the strangest thing. I can't remember why I came up here. Fresh air? Neither can I. Maybe you should slow down. It's true, I am Conrad. Maybe. It's homey in that cabin, though. It's just that thing about, what was it, when you walk through a door, you go into the kitchen for something, as soon as you pass from one room into another, you forget what you wanted. You have to walk back out just to remember, like, you left a part of your brain behind. Hey, I wonder if I could follow that brain crumb trail all the way back to the room I was born in. Oh, my cranes his neck over the railing. Looks cold down there, and dark. You weren't in the cabin long, getting any sleep? Had a weird dream. Yeah, that's when you get the strangest dreams, when you nod off, right? Just kind of dip your toes into sleep, some weird image floats by and takes a nibble. There's all kinds of trash down here. It does look cold, doesn't it? Do you see Ezra go in? Could have fallen off the hall back there. I think that kid was playing on the trash barge earlier. Seems to keep himself entertained. It's good for him. It's important to know how to be alone. What's up, huh? Look like there's something you want to ask. Fine, you can ask it. One question. Oh man, those are both questions I want to ask, but I only get one of them. Well, I didn't. I mean, I did, and then I didn't, and then I did again. That's how it always goes. Drift out, finally wind up back at Lizette's with my head between my legs, saying never again. 15 months this last time. I think I hung on because I knew there wouldn't be much longer. There wouldn't for much longer be anywhere to go back to. She went to live with her sister now, and she probably won't remember me for long anyway. One time she picked me up out of the ditch by the road, blackout drunk at dawn. I came around later that night. She'd taken care of me. I told her I didn't deserve it, and she said I didn't have to deserve it. She sounds like a saint. We should all have someone like that. But you wouldn't say that if you knew her when she was younger. That girl was wild, haha. Guess she's got her own problems now. I wish I could help out. Hey, maybe I could make some money and send it to her sister. Maybe they'll keep me on at the distillery. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. I've got to repay my debt. Hell, I should be grateful for the opportunity. If you want to die with any dignity, you've got to settle up. That's why it's such a damn shame when people go sudden. Interesting. I'm not in control of this one. I'm sure I talk too much. Everyone on this river does. The problem is that we listen twice as much as that. We're only telling you half of the stories we hear. Kate told me I ought to have been a photographer. She said, you have an uncanny way of having been in the place and time the thing happened there. Hold on, let me read that again. You have an uncanny way of having been in the place at the time the thing happened there. That's the hardest part of taking a photograph anyway. Shit, that's fucking true. Nice of her to say, but it isn't true. Though I know just about every story on this river, most of them I've picked up second, third, or fourth hand, and so on. Listening, see. Now I know that you're gonna ask, so I'm gonna answer it. Yes, I'm sure they're all true. I personally believe a story gets more true as it's tossed around from brain to brain, and the whole community brings their insight to bear on the brutal facts of experience. There are a few Echo River stories I witnessed directly. I saw the big owl migration pass through. You might have heard about that. I was there when the old train station flooded. I saw the ghost of Stephen Bishop brew up a batch of white lightning on a raft, or anyway, I talked to a few sailors who'd recently crossed paths with him, and I suspect sampled his wares. One night when I was working on the Mucky Mammoth, We picked up a gaggle of passengers headed down to a mail drop by the silo of Lake Reflections. I knew a couple of them in passing, a pair of traveling musicians whom I often encountered on the river. The others were strangers to me at the time. A young woman, a small boy, and an old man whose name I didn't catch. Oh, and a smelly dog. We docked at a gas station so the Mammoth could refuel. Ezra stayed on the tugboat and looked around the map room. Ezra followed Junebug and Johnny into the gas station. I think we're going to the gas station. A gas station. A gas? It's a gentleman about space. We cut it close. Usually find this place upriver. Everybody's on the lake tonight. The gas station moves around. Sure, it's not anchored or anything. Could be anywhere up and down the Echo. You just kind of run into it when you need it, or hopefully a little before you need it. I usually stop here once a night, though to be honest, I'm not sure it's even the same one. Doesn't have a name or anything, and I never really pay attention to who's behind the counter. Well, they have diesel, liquor, coffee, and snacks. All you really need. Anyway, it's nice to see you two. Most of my regular passengers must have gotten held up elsewhere in their journey tonight. It's that storm, I think. Watching Ezra sprint past. Look at him go. That kid has a lot of energy. It's got to be past his bedtime or something, right? I don't think he has a bedtime. He's a maverick. Sounds familiar. You don't have any of your own, I mean. No, I guess not. I just realized you two come through here so often. Chat about all kinds of stuff, but I never thought to ask about family. We're all the family we need. That's sweet. So how about that storm upstairs? Did you two get caught in it? I heard it kind of roamed around, uncertain. I'm sure we'll all hear about it tomorrow. Flooding, property damage, probably killed a few tomatoes. It's got the river churning and everyone headed to the lake here, where the water's calmer. I myself don't mind navigating a choppy river, not at all. I've got a good feel for it. Plus, it's better for fungal growth. High water consumes the cave moths, and their wet wings clump together into these little balls of nutrient-dense mushroom food, jammed by current here and there between the rocks. You never seen a mushroom grow like on a soggy cave moth carcass. Amazing. If I could get a day off, Val and I would be out there all day tomorrow to harvest. I mean it. They'll be ready by tomorrow. A mushroom will grow just as fast as you can pump water into it. Here, you two headed out this way tomorrow? Maybe I could send Val ashore with you for a few hours. She's got a remarkable nose for mushrooms. You wouldn't even need to know what to look for. Put a bag around her neck and she'll just bring them back to you. I said Val, not Vol. Yeah! We don't know where we'll be tomorrow. I should have figured. Seems you two are always on the move. It's Vol light. I think somebody's making popcorn in my house. Either that or I'm having a stroke. No, I'm pretty sure it's popcorn. You're Val thick, TM. Might need to check on this popcorn situation. Definitely doesn't smell like burning wood or anything like that, but I am ever so slightly paranoid. You need to know if I'm having a stroke. Well, I can see both of my arms moving in front of me. Stand by. Oddly enough, what I was smelling was actually burnt toast. My dad's figured out how to use my DLNA server, so he's watching Star Trek Discovery. So, should get back aboard, no rush. I just want to brew some tea before we get underway. Head into the station. Getting some coffee for the old man. Sure don't want him falling asleep on you. Nah, he'll be alright. Seems like the type who can hold his liquor. Seems like he has a little experience, I mean. Hey, while you're in there, could you remind the gas station attendant this fuel is on my tab? Charge it to the Mucky Mammoth. Oh, and Will wanted a scratch ticket. Thanks, Johnny to Junebug. I think I'll just watch the lake for a bit, ma'am. Who am I controlling? Oh, I'm controlling Junebug. Guess we're going inside. Let's talk to the attendant. Looking for crystals? Why do you assume I'm looking for crystals? We've got them on sale. All kinds of folks come in here looking for crystals. There's a few over there with milky white shocks through the middle. Like you caught a piece of a cloud. People seem to like those a lot. Yep. Popular crystals. You work on the Mammoth? I can add it to your tab. Oh, you know the tugboat? The captain? Kate said I'd have to remind you. Sure. They're here every night. It's okay, I have one of those faces. Forgettable. Does it bother you? I wouldn't say that. It's okay. I've learned to accept it. In fact, I've learned to cherish it. There's dignity in being forgotten, letting the crowd flow around you unspoiled. I used to live in a city, I mean a real city, Cleveland, Ohio. I had some family money then. I didn't have to work. I lived in hotels. In daylight, I walked wherever the people were. My only duty was to the crowd. I was its observer, its historian, its detective, its poet. Well, the money ran out and I dispersed with the rest of them. I took my duties with me here, to Lake Leth and the Echo River. I live behind this counter, anonymous, invisible, but I live with dignity. I'm from Cleveland, and it's really not that real. Is that Junebug's voice? And yourself? Sure, something like that. No, I don't think so. I enjoy the company of strangers. They enjoy the company too, as fleeting as it is, sufficient unto itself. We keep all the crystals on that shelf over there. Buy one, get one free, of equal or lesser symmetry. Norm. To attendant. Shit, that floodwater washed you halfway up out to sea. I was looking for you down by the new Königsberg. Königsberg. König. Same as usual, but ain't nobody here, and the river's deep as an elephant's. Oh, didn't see you there, ma'am. Pardon my language. What elephant? Where are you headed? Well, in fact, I'm headed right here. Glad to have found you at last. Extending his hand warmly. I expect you must be Loretta. Enchanted to meet you. Sorry I'm late. Hey, is that coming on too flowery or something? Enchanted? Repeating it now, I feel a little silly. Enchanted sounds pretty old-fashioned. Well, I'm not Loretta, but I think you'll do fine with Enchanted. Well, thanks for saying so. But now I'm double embarrassed. Picked a funny place to meet. You're probably right about that. I guess I thought it'd be neutral territory and we both live on the river. It's not very romantic though, is it? I met Loretta on the computer. We met each other there. Or I guess we spoke through the computer and agreed to meet. I don't know the terminology. I haven't dated in quite a while. Back when I met Greta, that's my wife, my ex, or maybe I am her ex. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, back then there wasn't even such a thing as computers at all. I guess there probably was, but I never heard of one. I worked in textiles. So here I am. What's your plan when Loretta shows up? Oh, maybe head down to the rum colony. Shoot, I forgot to ask if she likes to drink. We really never know these days. I guess first I'd ask her about that. If she doesn't like rum, maybe try to take her by the Bat Sanctuary. That's pretty romantic in a sense. Like misty valleys and ruined churches romantic. Not like flowers and chocolates romantic. Of course, they've got that memorial there. That's a little depressing, actually. Maybe we kind of sail around that. Damn it all, I guess I probably missed her. Wonder if she'll agree to meet me again. I'm sure she'll understand with the weather and all. Nice of you to say so. I guess I'll head on back. Hey, supposing Loretta doesn't want to see me after all. Oof, I'm out of your league. That's rough. My card is full. Oh, no, sorry, that's not what I meant. Actually, I wanted to ask you for some advice. I had to type up a sort of autobiography for the computer date. I spent a lot of time on it, but I only got one reply, and that was Loretta herself. I was happy to meet her, but supposing she's lost interest now. Do you think you could maybe give me some feedback? It's only a paragraph or so. I have it all memorized. I spent so damn long writing it. This guy speaks fluent sarcasm, and if you can't handle him at his worst, you don't deserve him at his best. And and here's some photos of him with American flags and guns. And a picture of him holding a tiger. And a child in a foreign country where he did some missionary work. Am I projecting? Because that's all I see on all I see on dating sites. There's actually a bat sanctuary by my house. I like going there. This is the time of year they're there. The Mexican free-tailed bats. They're very cool. They come out at dusk and then they eat all of the bugs along the canal. All right, so let's see what this guy's actual bio is. Try to think of any of the other weird things. There's just a lot of weird things that people don't realize because especially in hetero dating. You're not seeing people of your gender as often, so you only see people of what what you're after, and And I think that creates a particular issue where you don't know how you stack up against all of the people they're seeing and how much your shit is exactly the same as other people's shit. But then there's just weird things that pop up, like, that everybody has the same fucking photograph at the same place on the same mountain, or everybody who's got a photograph in front of the fish market in Seattle, or the public market, whatever, where you're just sort of like, did everybody take the same Seattle vacation? Is there just like a package for being for doing that? Like, I've been there because it was, a short walk from PodCon, but I didn't actually take a picture in front of the sign. The goddamn bean in Chicago. The algorithm knows, yeah. But it's just impressive because even for some of like the hiking spots, it's like, is there a line to take a photo there? Like, it looks like they're the only person on the mountain, but there's probably like 25 people waiting to take their Tinder photo. Well, I've never been to Chicago. I'm not sure that I would be able to pick out the bean. I mean, it's different if you're dating in Chicago. Like, if I have an app in Phoenix, and one out of every so many people has a picture of the public market in Seattle, that's not a. Is the you know what? I maybe I have at least heard about the bean. I was watching a what is it? A Let's Play of Watch Dogs. Is that the one? God, I think it was Watch Dogs, which is just a gross game. It's just disgusting, and I don't think it knows that. Because you just like peek into so many people's lives, and they're just like the worst stereotypes of bad behavior. But I think they had something like that sculpture. Now I have a weird itch on my back in a place that apparently I can't reach myself. What the heck? Oh, I got it. I got the itch. Okay. It's a real professional stream here. Oh, I've got an itch. I can't scratch myself. That's the original date app one-liner. Excuse me. Yeah. I can imagine. Let me make sure I've got plenty of space left to record. That was ASL. Oh man, I remember the days of that. But I was a child. Back AOL Instant Messenger and it was a Talk City chat rooms. Oh boy, that was a shit show. Used to use MIRC as well prior to AIM. No, I've used IRC, but only a little bit. I don't know if MIRC is related. ICQ. I had an app that did all of those, but for whatever reason, the only people I knew only used AIM. So I didn't I didn't know some of those other ones. Yeah, those were weird days. Oh man, that's having some memories here. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. That's all good. There were some people that I don't have contact information for now because the only way I could get in touch with them back in the day was through one of those internet chats. I mean, not that I mean, these were people I knew in person that we just, wasn't, this was just before cell phones. I think were really I mean, not before cell phones, but before cell phones were in the hands of children, I should say. They definitely existed. My dad had a cell phone, but no one else in the family had a cell phone. Yeah, so ASL. It's 13. Never mind. This joke. I already just fucked up the joke, so I'm gonna stop. Okay, here's how it goes. I'm a good-natured man, retired, and spent most of my time sailing the Echo River, riding currents of subterranean gas and that strange invisible wind that moans out of the small tunnels along the bank. And then he just needs to follow that up with, and I eat ass. Timeless, unknown Neptune. I was going to say, timeless, yes please. And Neptune. To do steal a joke from Austin Powers, you guys. Neptune, huh? I'm more curious about the hexagonal hurricane on Saturn. Or I guess they all kind of have storms on them, don't they? Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune. I don't know about Uranus. Does Uranus have a Uranus? My neighbors may have been woken up by the volume I laughed at with "and I eat ass." Yeah. I mean, it's 2020. 2019 was the year we all eat ass, and 2020 is the year we all fuck feet. So there's that in the middle of this otherwise relatively tame Kentucky Route Zero. Like, I'm sorry, Blath, but you do now, because we all do. Specifically the fact that I've been shown a profile on Tinder by a friend of mine, and I were both on it. And it said that. Oh, you're stuck in the past with ear sex. Yeah, that was definitely 2017. 2017 was the year of the lobes. There's some it was Umox for the Ferengis. Do any of the 6 people watching this have a do we have some DS9 fans? Okay. It is true, Blath, you have been behaving. So I'm not helping. I'm not helping. I just feel like that's the thing. Every time someone says females, females. Yeah. But even Ferenginar, they got Rom as the Grand Nagus, and he they were revolutionizing some stuff. Oh man, Armin Shimmerman, right? He was also the principal from Buffy. I wear the cheese does not wear me. Unions? Yeah, right. I mean, you know, the Betazoids were a sensual bunch. Loaxana. Was it not Loxana? Say her name, Loaxana. Okay, so I was not expecting this level of Star Trek knowledge in my chat right now. I think there's a reason why you guys stick with me. Heir to the holy rings of Beta Z. Yeah, I've been trying to work my way. I watched 2 episodes of Discovery a while back, and I just recently picked it up again. I watched Picard, which I thought was pretty okay. There's some parts of it that felt like not Star Trek to me, but you know, I think for a modern incarnation, it's pretty good. So, somebody, we have one more viewer now, just while I'm not playing the game and talking about Star Trek instead. I don't know if they heard of the Star Trek and then just came running to the stream, but anyway, welcome. I'll be back to playing the game in just a moment. Why do I know this and not algebra? She's the computer. Majel Barrett. She was Nurse Chapel in TOS and from Cleveland. Oh, okay. So I see we've got the connection there. You know, I haven't watched all of the original series. It wasn't... I watched a couple and then went right to Next Gen. Sorry. She was so terrible that someone offhandedly asked who she slept with to get on set, and Mr. Roddenberry was right there. Yeah, it's also got to be a little bit uncomfortable if you're the guy who's like, yes, I put my objectively untalented significant other on set. I suppose that's also the case with was it the second Indiana Jones? All right. Seeking a companion to map the river with me. I have 2 grown children, but they live far away. All right, I'm I gotta I'll have to change the genre of what we're doing to just chatting. If all right, I lost 2 people. We lost 2 people during the Star Trek conversation. Brutal. No goofballs. No goofballs. I eat ass. Bye, we won't miss you. Maybe I'll miss them. I still need like 3 more followers before I get to whatever the next level is on Twitch. Let's see. What was the thing about goofballs? I mean, like, serious inquiries only. You might miss out on some really great goofballs. Emboldened by the chat, Conrad started picking weirder options. You'd kind of hate it if I got to be a big streamer. I can guarantee that's not going to happen. Oh, you guys are gonna sabotage me to keep me all to yourselves, huh? Thing about the wind is a little much. Yeah, you're probably right. I wanted to show my poetic side. I'll save that for the date. And then, I don't know. I think mentioning his children is totally fine. I mean, honestly, I think that the issue with a lot of dating profiles is that people don't actually narrow themselves down into any sort of categories or whatever. Like, they try to seem broadly applicable to everybody, but that kind of sucks. I mean, and it's like, I don't know, again, just speaking to the hetero dating, which, so it doesn't hold true for everybody's dating experiences, but like, women should be very specific on their profiles because they're going to get a ton of responses anyway. And I think men should be probably a bit more vague because they got to take who they get in their replies. Seeking board game tabletop nerd who eventually wants kids for a dorkable D&D family time, plus I can cook. Yeah, Bardic, I think that's better than what I had in my profile. Yeah, the last, I think the last dating profile I had, and it might still be one of my dating profiles, is about, basically it comes down to, I'm not here for dates. I'm looking for the person who fulfills the prophecy. And then I describe a little bit the prophecy and what and what information people need to include so that I can determine if they're the right person for the prophecy. Yeah, well, I mean, I've gotten some weird stuff for having, interested in polyamory or whatever in profiles. I don't know. But anyway, not gonna yuck anybody's yum. Certainly not people in the chat, but I'm referring specifically to the people who might have messaged me. Yeah, well, I was just trying to do something different, and I figured that a woman who responded to we lost another viewer. God damn it! This it's probably the time more than it is anything else. It's now midnight in Phoenix. I don't know. I feel like some of this is more interesting than the game, but anyway. Oh boy. I'm sorry to the people I lost, who probably just went to bed, more than likely. And I shouldn't take it personally, but I will. Polyamorous or monogamous, I think, or, polygamous, I guess, if you want to. I think it's totally fine if this guy mentions his children. Alright, thanks for your help, man. Really renewed my confidence. I'm ready to get back on that computer. Yeah, but, monogamous is what people don't say monoamorous. But yeah, polygamous is marriage. Well, that would technically be polygynous, Vol. That does have its own term. You can also be polyandrous, yeah. Yes, excuse you. I'm going to drop my 9th grade social studies education on you right now. Yes, well, I would imagine that the Dark Prince CA, I think a lot of people don't know the dating terms. I get it mixed up with the 6 other languages I speak. Oh, poor you. What's polygamy is specifically multiple women? I thought that was polygyny. Here, this one. Yeah, back in the day. Maybe there's a... If you're going textbook, I'm right. Are you saying that I'm technically correct? Can I go lower than 4 viewers? Because all 4 of you are talking to me right now, so I know who you are. All right. We helped Norm with his dating life. You have a good night now. What's left of it anyway? Romance languages are the bane of your existence, huh? But they're some of the easiest ones. Like, Vol, do you speak a Slavic language? I mean, I assume that you've got Finnish in good shape. Oh, hey. Hey, Loopy. I don't think you're technically one of the viewers on my number yet. I just scared away everybody. So we helped a guy rewrite his dating profile, and I went off on a bit of a talk. We also talked about Star Trek for a good while. Yeah, so this is Loopy, I don't think you know anything about Kentucky Route Zero, so this is not going to make sense, but feel satisfied that it doesn't make sense for us either. I'm going to look. The crystals are rough, dirty, some are damp. They must have come out of the river. That attendant is a trip. Johnny seemed distant. Let's worry about Johnny. I gotta play a game that makes sense at least once, man. Oh boy. It's too late to start a different game. I mean, if they can't do Star Trek or polyamory chat, then it'd be awkward having them around anyway. Yeah, they're the fucking weirdos, not us. Anyway, I was excited about Kate's dog, too. He seems a little preoccupied with the kid Ezra. Traveling with all these people might be like sensory overload for him. Make it about Ezra. Junebug tries to scrape some green algae off a larger specimen, examining it for the kind of cloudy inner formation that the attendant said was so popular. What would it be like to travel with one more? It's always just been the 2 of us on the bike. We're just along for the ride like that attendant. What would it be like to travel with one more? They're gonna get a baby. Ha! You! And a few numbers are woven through the algae. The fuck? It's not always about orgies. That's saved for the shareholder parties. This is casual for us. Yeah. I just, as the only person with a voice and a microphone in this chat, I don't know enough to moderate. I've heard great things about sex and would love to try it someday. So, no, I don't think I don't think I need an education right now. All right. Even supposing it was possible to take on another passenger long term, maybe just best to ask him what's on his mind. I'm going to click on that one. Man, people being emotionally direct. That would be super. This isn't algae at all. It's a decayed plastic bag caught on the rock. Oh, to put somebody else on a microphone. I don't know. I think that's just a funny joke. It's a funny joke for me. I mean, I stole it from H Bomber Guy in one of his videos because he got tired of people in the comments telling him he's never had relations. I think I'm so funny. Loopy, tell the people how funny I think I am. What do you think of that other dog we've got on board, Val? Mushroom hunting, huh? I'm gonna ask the dog about a dog. Homer's a sleepy old hound dog. I know he isn't doing any mushroom hunting, that's for sure. Homer came along with that old man drinking up all your beer. I'd like to try my hand at mushroom hunting. I bet I'd be pretty good at it. Weird cave fungus growing on soggy moth wings. Sounds kind of romantic, but also kind of gross, right? Ooh, 30% of the time. Ouch. Oh, oof. Although it's very sweet of you, Loopy, to suggest that I'm ever funny. So thank you. I'll take that as a win. I do have the synthesizer plugged in if we want to start doing some more infomercials about about the quarantine. Speaking of which, you should listen to that audio file so maybe I can decide if other people will hear it. I don't know what you said. What did you get to? But lawyer wigs. Are you in the UK, Dark Prince? Foraging. Oh no, I'm sorry. You know what? I was just trying to read like 2 or 3 comments to get the context and not reading everything you guys said. Yeah. Got it. Casual UK, that's Canada. Okay. Cold UK. I guess it's cold in the UK, but I feel like Canada's on a different level. Anyway, never been to Canada. Have been to the UK though. So I hope they let me back someday. Weird cave fungus growing on soggy moth wings sounds kind of romantic, but also kind of gross, right? I would love to mushroom forage one day, but I'm just positive I would poison myself. So could you fit in the sidecar? So would you like to ride with us for a day? Bet you would. We're good company. I guess you miss Kate even just for a day. Maybe we can still talk her into it. I can go with a guide. Yeah, that's probably true. Okay, man, this little excursion to the gas station here took a while. I don't know how long this playthrough is supposed to be for this one. Let's see. It's a crystal. I bought it for you. Wow, thank you, ma'am. Hey, could you hold on to it for a minute? I'm going to look around inside. Wish me luck. Good luck. Alright, are we playing as Johnny now? And he's also a robot. Let's talk to that attendant with the forgettable face. Oh, there's someone floating by over here. Where'd these crystals come from? There used to be a young man who came by here and traded them for gas. He's a diver. I guess he found them diving. Haven't seen him in a while, though. That right there could be the last of them. To be honest, our whole inventory is pretty low right now. There's a delivery boat that usually swings by earlier in the night, but I guess something came up. Where are you headed? Helping some new friends make a delivery. Or along for the ride, anyway. Helping some new friends make a delivery. Or along for the ride. Well, even if you're not doing the heavy lifting or navigating or whatever, a passenger contributes to a journey too. I never travel, but I do love travelers. That's what I like about this job. The travelers come to me. Meet some interesting people? Wouldn't say I meet them, but I do sell them gas. Well, let me know if I can help you find anything. Is that Al or A1? Al, okay. Glory, it is good to be among friends. Suit yourself. What are you so excited about? Wow, I should take a page out of your book, man. I'd give you any advice I could, little guy, but I think the most important thing I can say is... Glory, it is good to be among friends. Helps to keep things in perspective, I guess. It's a ritual of remembrance for me, tonight particularly so. It's my birthday. I am 5 years old. Do you know why I say that? Well, I'm going to tell you. 5 years and some days ago, I set out on the Echo River alone, or so I thought at the time. I was looking for an ice floe. They are occasionally rumored to travel our humble artery on their way from who knows where to who knows where. Who knows why? It's a mystery. An hour into the journey, my lantern gave out. Now, I always carry 3 or 4 spares. You'll never catch me in the dark again. Lesson learned, buddy. But that night, when that lantern went out, I was stuck in the dark. I kept my arm extended, running my fingers along the cave wall, trying to keep my bearings as best I could, at least make sure I wasn't going in circles. I just prayed I'd find another traveler who knew his way back to the lake, or above ground, or even just a crack in the rock to get a glimpse of moonlight. I had a large bag of apples with me. After a long while, maybe a day, I was getting weak, so I took my hand down from the rock to tear the bag open. Well, when I reached back out, I couldn't find the cave wall anymore, or any other. I was totally unmoored, buddy. Totally adrift. Oh no. It may just be my onion, but they're pretty great. Oh, opinion? Seems like you're in a pickle. Oh dear. Okay, I'm gonna just let you guys have the chat. It was so dark. Started counting time and apples eaten. I drifted in despair for 4 apples. Then I schemed and planned and dreamed for 2 apples. Finally, I came to accept my fate, lost at sea, and this phase I think I would have continued indefinitely had I not come down to that very last damn apple. Picture me feeling around in the empty bag, certain that somehow there was another one of those fist-sized chunks of life-giving fruit, already softened by time and probably an unappetizing brown. Nope, that was it. Just as I was about to bite into my last meal, I felt a tickle on my upper lip. It hatched right then, couldn't have been a moment later, or I would have eaten it. My last apple was infested by a damn fruit fly maggot. Well, that should have been the end of it. I should have eaten that apple and that fly while I was at it, and put an end to our little food chain suicide pact, but I waited out of mercy. Oh, I looked down to see a pun. Cucumbers. God damn it. After all, this fly was basically a newborn child, right? A gross insect child, but still a child, right? Born into darkness and famine, hungry and alone. I mean, can you imagine that? No other flies out there on the boat. And never would be. No other flies to welcome him into the world. I mean, no fly culture, no fly society, no fly history. A true orphan. I started to get depressed just thinking about it all. Worked out a thick tear. Oh man, a thick tear. I'm not ashamed to say. Well, that fly landed on my cheek, right under my left eye, right on that salty teardrop, and then, blinding glory, his ass lit up like a candle. That wasn't a fly, buddy. That was a damn lightning bug. Here's one guy who's glad he didn't eat ass. Oh my god. We're back up to 6 viewers. Anyway. Life goals make Conrad stop what he's doing to curse God. Check. Oh dear. So that's how come I'm here today with you folks, only because I found my way out of that strange river cave by the dim-lit rear of some orphan insect hatched out of my last rotten apple. Glory it is to good to be among friends. Alright, let's see what Junebug says to the dog. Did my Johnny talk your ear off out here? I suspect there are some things he can only say to animals. Oh no. ¿Dónde van los gatos cuando mueren? Purgatorio? You could say that in English too. You'd still get purgatory. Plus gato. Oh, gato Rio. Alright. It works both ways. Purgatorio. It's a damn masterpiece. I suspect there's some things he can only say to animals. I guess that's just how people are. Different thoughts for different listeners. Exeunt. Talk to Junebug. That guy's a trip. That gas station attendant. Did you talk to him? It's funny. He actually reminds me of that frog we had for a bit. That frog you had. I thought it was a toad. Oh, is there a difference? Toads live in the mud, frogs live in trees. I don't know. Huh, I never knew. Okay, so how does that gas station attendant remind you of a frog? Oh, I don't know. Because you like to talk, I guess. Maybe we should pick up another one. A frog, or a cat, or an iguana, or something. What do you want a pet for? Feeling lonely, Cricket? Or maybe a third person to travel with? They're really just trying to fill out their triad, you know. We should be rooting for Johnny and Junebug. We're going right back. See now if I can just spin that into a Star Trek reference. Then we'll have come full circle for this long detour we've taken from the game. Huh. Now that would be a whole new adventure, wouldn't it? You and me, we're good together, safe, free, you know what I mean? We can try stuff out, change our clothes, swap parts around, just play. I'm not lonely, just curious. With another person to play with, what else could we be? To boldly croak. Yeah. Yay. You may be right, Cricket. And keep it in mind, let's not rush into anything. You're right about that, ma'am. No rush. Well, that's Kate. Time to hit the road. River, I mean. Of course you have a Riker cosplay. See that small brick building? It used to be an upholstery shop. Now it's inhabited by a very skilled taxidermist whose art is greatly in demand. When it was an upholstery shop, it didn't seem nearly as much business. The old shop's name has been lost to time and weather. This was decades ago, and the only trace of it now is the grayed frame of an old sign behind the new lettering, which now reads, Trapper, Stalker, and Sportsman. And then below smaller, no specimen is too exotic, no arrangement too fanciful. That's actually my dating profile. Trapper, Stalker, and Sportsman. No specimen is too exotic, no arrangement too fanciful. Some of the upholstery equipment is still there too, and still sees active use. Elise is the resident artist, though she's not the owner of the shop. It's owned by a reclusive ex-convict named Judah. I don't know. I feel like Elise needs her Aunt Ida, but this Judah idea. It's owned by an ex-convict named Judah. Very little is known about him. His crime is generally assumed to be violent or otherwise gruesome in some detail. Though, of course, that's all speculation. It probably comes from his association with the taxidermy business. Even though he never so much as skins a squirrel, he's more like a silent partner. I guess those are the ones you're supposed to keep an eye on. But Judah is old and keeps to himself, and the consensus seems to be that he's paid his debt to society, whatever that debt may have been. Shannon retreated to the TV room to browse the Mammoth's video collection. Shannon followed the other travelers ashore to a drowsy beachside bar called the Rum Colony. Oh man, how do I pick between those two? Can I can you guys vote in the chat? Oh, as if two robots, sorry, I've got the pun. If two robots add another person to their group, is that person assimilated? I found it. I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I mean, I want to see the video collection, but the bar sounds interesting. Alright, we have 2 votes for the video collection. We got some introverts in the crowd. I think I'm gonna switch off the drum machine. It might make a popping sound, so everybody be prepared. Okay. Alright, well. Mammoth's video collection. It'll be a bummer if we miss a song or something. The Mucky Mammoth. Eject. Search. The shelves are full of dusty tapes. Some have been relabeled several times, the stickers piling up thick on their spines. Birds, funeral thing, weather. We're doing funeral thing. Insert. Insert. Watch. Oh, we don't get to see it. An elderly couple sit on folding chairs in the middle of a TV studio, undecorated except for a funeral lily and a thin blue vase on the table. The lights are a bit too dim to make out their features. She reads from a newspaper with unhurried efficiency. Gloria B. of Munfordville passed away on Monday at her residence. Survivors include her children Dakota, Montana, Minnesota, and Bobby, all of Munfordville. A memorial service will be held at 7 p.m. Thursday at Hatton Huffman Funeral Home in Munfordville, with cremation to follow. She never knew Gloria. He thinks he may have heard the name, wondering aloud if she ever worked at a cafe down there in Munfordville. The woman who ran that place was once called Gloria, or maybe still is. They take a call, someone who knew Gloria B., if not very well. The caller once installed a satellite dish at Gloria's house, a 900 square foot ranch-style home on 2 acres at a dead end, backed by weeds and pine. When the caller mounted the ladder up to Gloria's roof, she slid open her window and tugged urgently at his pant leg. He followed her gaze behind the house to 2 wild turkeys picking through the weeds. Gloria and the caller watched, silent and still, as the huge birds foraged obliviously into the trees. Then he installed the satellite dish. Sad. Eject. Search. Oh man. I feel like there's a couple times a year where I just go, damn it, I want to drop everything and start working on de-extinction. Because I also want a pony-sized mammoth. Or a teacup elephant. But that's more genetic engineering. I can only hope that someone someday will be listening to my voice while they do the actual work of de-extincting the mammoth. And that I keep their hands steady or something. A big weasel. Okay. Shannon combs through the video archive. Are we doing question marks or art thing? I think we gotta do question marks. Insert. Watch. Eerie hum from TV. That awful hum. It seems to start before Shannon even hits play. Then there's the familiar room. There are blank gray walls marked with tape and school desks, and this time she notices a few more details. The murky carpet, like standing water, some video equipment stashed in the corner, a row of lockers, and there's Weaver, looking serenely at the camera. As before, she starts speaking, and as before, there's no sound but that hum. Shannon finds Weaver's words coming back to her as they appear in captions on the screen. Yes, Mishuk's elephant, the tiniest teacup elephant. Dragon Age has you itching for an elk mount. What about in Breath of the Wild when you get on that god's back? that weird Easter egg. Weaver, male, school, and these magnificent, tragic horses. Go underground as deep as you can go. The air is cool and the earth is damp. And when you close your eyes, you are surrounded by the dead. Remember where that is? You'll find your way from there. I think this place is what you're looking for. Some of it will wash away soon, but I think you'll be happy here, even without the male school. The text repeats itself for a few minutes, and Shannon stops the tape. Do I want return or main deck? I guess I put the video back. Well, I guess we'll go through all of them if we can. Vol, you need to get yourself a reindeer. Blue-black morning swings across the screen. The birdwatcher tramps through dewy grass. He stops with a wet grunt and rests the camera on a pile of rocks. Birds, from great distances. Episode 12 appears briefly on screen. He twists the lens by hand, pushing the frame past trees onto the road, and coming to a halt, zoomed in on a fuzzy, fist-sized artifact resting on the momentary stroke of a telephone wire. Moose's only predator is killer whales because they go diving for food. Yikes. Shannon and the birdwatcher observe. He breathes. He breathes. He's briefing. Mate, I'm breathing here. He breathes heavily. And she holds her breath, like she's afraid he might hear, afraid of distracting him, or of being discovered and contaminating his perfect isolation. Traffic picks up, indifferent. As the sky lightens, the black smudge in the center of the frame gradually becomes more prominent, but never in any greater detail. Not bad. I'm having a hard time imagining killer whales eating, eating moose. Oh man, there's more birds. Let's do art thing first. I gotta split up the boring bits. I've been watching a lot of documentaries about like whales and elephants and shit to fall asleep recently. At first she thinks the video might be paused, but on closer inspection she can see the edges of the frame shrinking inwards around the chairs, desk, and loose gray furniture of a sterile waiting room. It's terrifying falling asleep to documentaries. It's not so terrifying. This is where I need my own Curiosity Stream referral link to tell you guys about. I don't actually know if they might let me just set up a referral link. Because I mean, $20 a year, $12 a year, whatever, it's fucking worth it. Anyway, she watches for a while. She's not sure how long. Several minutes pass. Oh, several minutes. The zoom tightens. So gradually, she sometimes forgets it's happening at all, and finally rests on an oscillating desk fan. She ejects the tape before the next part of the triptych begins. Okay. Browse. Trivia thing. Man, this just keeps going. New stuff. Let's look at the weather. And now for the weather. The on-screen title identifies this program as The History of Weather Volume 3, Droughts. I feel like this one's gonna be dry. Over footage of a dry riverbed, the program's narrator explains the difference between modern drought and ancient drought. The narrator proposes that modern drought may hardly be considered weather at all, since its severity and behavior are so influenced by human activity. Boring. How are there more and more tapes? Science. I'm really taking my time with this one. I have no idea when this is actually supposed to, or how long it's supposed to take. Because the last one was 4 hours without trying, and this one I'm trying, apparently. It looks like Will, though much younger, reclined on a sofa and taking calls. His arm, draped over the back of the couch, holds a bottle of something clear. People call in with stories of their encounters with the supernatural. Will offers little commentary or response. He acknowledges them. Sometimes he interrupts to clarify or repeat something back to them. Mostly he just listens and pulls from that clear glass bottle. A handmade banner strung above the couch reads, "I believe you." Will? Are there jellyfish underneath what? Shopping. Well, I see the insects. I don't know if I saw jellyfish. Woman sits at a card table with a lamp, notepad, and a beige multi-line telephone. Scrolling marquee reads, "Swap, shop, buy, sell, trade, or want to buy, call the broker," and then a phone number repeating without pause. Eddie has fresh eggs to trade for a basil plant, a dozen eggs for one plant, which is a steal. Eddie's eggs are good eggs. Sadie has a bag of fine shells. No reasonable offer will be refused. Christopher is looking for a scrub plane in a decent shape. Doesn't have to be too nice, just something to get a tabletop near to... Hold on. Just something to get a tabletop near to flat from some oak that's been air drying in a barn for 20, maybe 30 years. And while it's true he could get the job done without it, since he's got a nice heavy jack plane his grandfather used to use, he'd just as soon not fuss with grinding a camber onto it. And anyway, he has a little extra capital from a swap earlier in the week and wouldn't mind putting it down on a decent scrub plane before the cash burns a hole through his pocket. Carla is looking to trade typing services for calligraphy services, or vice versa. Huh. Broker takes note and switches lines but never speaks, drunk on the hum of commerce. Fun. Fun, fun. Fun, 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 fun. Fun, 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 fun. Fun, fun, fun. Return. Withdraw. Okay, we're running out of tapes. I do want to see what the trivia thing is. Insert. The words "tip of your tongue" and a phone number are occasionally superimposed on the screen. A few dozen people sit in the bleachers, shouting out ideas, loosely moderated by a short woman with a microphone and laser pointer. One caller is trying to remember the name of an old friend she hasn't seen in years. It starts with a consonant. It's full of consonants, actually. There are maybe one or two vowels. It sounds long, but she doesn't remember having any trouble spelling it at any point. The friend had brown hair? That's probably not helpful. Another caller is trying to remember a verb that means to make oneself vulnerable. Something like to expose oneself, but not quite that. To become emotionally, spiritually vulnerable, like with a lover or a poem. Third caller just knows there was something he was supposed to do tonight. He offers some biographical background, a narrative of his day. He's unemployed, has no real hobbies, and has already eaten. Few ideas from the bleachers. Lordy. I just now noticed, Blath, your comment. I saw a video where a diver was in murky water and just bam, there was a moose, and that's fucking terrifying. Of all the things I don't want to see underwater if I'm diving. just having to figure out why the fuck I'm face to face with a moose. I'm not ready for that. Alright, let's finish him off. We're watching some videos. Insert. Watch. It's raining heavily as the title Birds from Great Distances, episode 27, flashes on screen. She knows by the sound, the volley of rainwater on mud, 3 branches, the rusted bed of an old pickup, and on the birdwatcher's own skin and hair. He swears under his breath. She can hear the rain there, too, in his wet breath and the wet exclamations of his palm. Exclamation of his palm, slopping the water from his forehead and shoulders. The camera is pointed at a cedar shed, with one hinged door angling erratically in the storm. From this distance, it's hard to tell if it's been damaged or simply left open. When the door swings wide, she can see the shed is full of small boards, scraps maybe, or rough-cut pieces, meant for very small projects and then stacked carelessly on shelves, in piles, quickly sorted, and then forgotten. Yeah, the good news is they're not built for water, so you can escape them pretty easily. Still, I'm not sure that the terror is that the moose is going to hurt me. The terror is, what are you doing here? And there's the bird, a blue ball taking shelter on the shed floor, nested in scrap wood. I actually have a quail nesting in my backyard in a trash can. It's, it's equal parts cute and not. It's just a vibing. It's equal parts cute and not trash birdies. I did snap a photo of her the other day. Birds again. Alright. We're doing a slow mosey here, friends. Sound of cicadas from TV. This video is black. Shannon only knows it's playing because of the cicadas. And then Birds from Great Distances, episode 81. The screen isn't totally dark, of course. That's why it's what she thinks of as video black, a deep mottled blue, noisy with magnetic decay and cottony limits of the camera's sensors. It's the black she sees before she goes to sleep, the night black. The eyes shut against the streetlights black. She has more words for it than she expected. She wonders what words the bird watchers use for it. She wonders where he is relative to the camera, or where the bird is for that matter. Huh. That sounds like a big moose. I don't believe I've ever seen a moose, but I'm not sure I've gone far enough north in the Americas. I mean, I guess there's probably a moose not too far from Seattle, but not in Seattle. Okay, do we have... Yeah, we're done. It's telling us we're done. It makes you reconsider a lot. They're horrifically bigger than you've ever prepared for. Is it like some Mononoke level of big animal? Kate and Will. No, it was only a few notes, slow and sad, like funeral music, you know? I don't remember it being sad, just simple and unburdened. Maybe that's what funeral music sounds like to me, unburdened. Correct me if I'm wrong, but black bears are the not so big ones, right? Like brown bears and polar bears are enormous, but black bears are a lot smaller. And grizzly bears are huge. Oh, hello. Kate and I were just trying to remember the mammoth song, but neither of us have heard it for years. Will just found the mechanism. In the mammoth's belly, hidden in gritty, matted fur, it's like a big music box, a slowly spinning cylinder covered in metal pins that pluck her dulcet guts and pump the bellows in her bowels. Hold on, I gotta read this again. Hidden in gritty, matted fur, it's like a big music box, a slowly spinning cylinder covered in metal pins that pluck her dulcet guts and pump the bellows in her bowels. Here's a guy who eats ass. Maybe there's different kinds of black bears. And I used to have wolves. I mean, they were part dog, but mostly wolf. It's a long story. But they were lovely. But some of the pins are rusted and worn away. Easy to replace if we can remember what the notes were. Did I hear you browsing the archive next door? Find anything good? Found something pretty unsettling, actually. Oh dear, I don't even know what's on half those tapes anymore. They used to all be movies and that kind of stuff. I like nature documentaries especially. Some people left home movies or little art videos they'd made, but that damned VCR devours anything you leave in it. It just switches into record mode at random, I think, and picks up whatever's coming in over the antenna. Of course, the only station we get down here is that WEVP, community television, you know. They've got that show with the gentleman playing banjo in his birthday suit. I'm sure you've seen it. Oh, yes. What are you asking me to explain? I'm assuming it's the wolves, but if there's no tape in the machine when it tries to start recording, it makes this awful sound, like putting a squeaky toy in a food processor. I can hear it above deck. Awful. My cousin decided he was going to raise wolf hybrids. It was not a great business plan, but we ended up with a couple of them. Lovely dogs. No, it's not illegal. But it is ill-advised. That's why I put the sign up, please do not rewind after watching. At least that way nothing gets taped over anymore. You were in one of those videos, I believe you, it said. Or was that taped? Have you not watched every moment of The Tiger King? God, I mean, it's good filmmaking, but it's bad documentary. Because, like, there's no fucking way that woman killed her husband. Anyway. You sent me some moose. I don't have Discord on, but if you type something into the chat, I can do it as a window capture. And apparently in Michigan, you can just go into state buildings with guns. I don't know. In Phoenix, it's just they have so many metal detectors on that stuff. I'll have a nice moose surprise when I'm done streaming. The title sounds familiar, but more like it's something I heard about, like secondhand information. They let anybody on there, and that's the whole idea. Community television, or public access, they call it. I would say it's possible that I did the show you saw and then forgot. Wouldn't be the first time. Studio. No, I can't say that I remember where WEVP is. Sorry. You should meet Dashiell. He did a lot of volunteer work for WEVP in the early days, wiring up antennas and relays, stuff like that. I think you two would have a lot to talk about. He works at the telephone exchange. No, I'm afraid he's been let go. Oh yeah? That's odd. He still takes the ferry to work every day. I'm sure he's at the telephone exchange right now. In fact, I dropped him there a few hours ago. We're stopping at the telephone exchange again shortly to deliver their mail and pick up their trash. Should go ashore when we do. Ask for Dashiell. Or Dashiell? I don't know. How do you say that in Kentucky? In Kentuckese. I'm bummed we didn't get to go into the bar. I rarely miss a chance to lounge on the beach around the rum colony, and I do enjoy a drink, though I don't find their signature liquor suits me. This time I elected to stay aboard and shoot the breeze with Kate over some mineral water. Still, I heard reports. Let's see. Ezra told me about the dark corners. See, that beach is lit by a congregation of amber torches stuck in the sand. They mix the torch fuel with citronella oil. Keeps the bugs away, which keeps the bats away, but the light doesn't fall very far from the flame. The rest is shadows and sandy echoes, and that's the part Ezra wanted to tell me about. He said he liked to run in the dark. He said he found a treasure. I know better than to pry. Well, if we're talking about the rum colony, I should tell you about Patch. He's the bartender, general manager, creative director. I guess that means he books the music. He's pretty much run the place for the last 7 years. A lot of folks assume he owns it, but that is not the case. The rum colony is owned by a dead man named Vernon. Technically, it would be owned by the power company, who once bought a sizable interest from Vernon as part of a state-sponsored investment program, but a clause in that arrangement requires them to keep their hands off the day-to-day and most of the profits, so long as Vernon walks this earth. The upshot of all this is that nobody came forth to identify the body. Patch is a good guy, though, kind, trustworthy, and he mixes a strong Mai Tai, if that's your thing. Yeah, this game's just got style, all kinds of style. It's very nice. Valkyrie, oh, it's Valkyrie is the name of the dog. And Homer lounged below deck. Clara, Kate, and I stepped to do some business by telephone. I'm gonna do this one. Scene 4. A phone. Phone dialing. Guess we're going to be here for a minute. Looks like they have a few calls to make. I should probably call someone too. Oh yeah, who are you calling? I don't know, just whoever picks up. Oh, okay. Dialing blind. You could ruffle some feathers like that, kid, especially this late at night. What would you say to a stranger you can't even see? 8675309. I got it. I got it. I don't say anything. I just listen. Huh, okay. I guess you mean well. I guess I'll head back aboard. Might see if I can find any of the good stuff stashed in the... Maybe in the spice cabinet? Maybe in the medicine cabinet? Huh. That's where it belongs. Damn, Conway. Fell off the wagon hard. Hell, who am I talking to? Don't listen to me, kid. I'll see you in a few. It's impossible to cry during Mambo number 5. Now, did Conway just get in the fucking water? Bye, my man. Yeah.
23 new messages. I remember going to a house in Aroostook County, Maine. I was 2. We were moving, and we were driving up in a white Nissan station wagon with faux wood paneling. And it was the first time that I'd seen the house that I was going to live in for the next 7 years. Being washed in the bathroom sink. I was just parking my car. I had to parallel park it. The street that I live on was full, but there was a nice. But it just got cold today for like the first time in a long time. So I had the heat on. And whenever you have the heat on in an old car, it definitely smells a certain way. It smells kind of like, it almost smells, you can like smell that it's hot, and you can feel it too, but the smell that it is like from the car itself, like from the engine, and there's been a lot of smoking going on in that car, so it's not exactly a pleasant smell, but it's definitely strong, and it's definitely there. And with the windows down, you can also smell that it's cold. So you get both. And that feeling together is super familiar if you've been in old cars a lot. Anyway, I was parking and I had to go in and out about it like 3 times, but when I finally finished parking, it was like perfect. Both wheels against the curb, and that's when I had like the double memory when I first learned how to drive. My mom taught me how to parallel park. She told me the story about when her dad, who was a motorcycle cop, taught her how to parallel park. And every time she parallel parked, she would take out a dime, and if she could fit the dime between the wheel of her car and the curb of the street, then she had to do it again. She didn't do that for me, but every time that I got upset about having to do it again, she would tell me that at least I didn't have to be a dime's distance away from the curb. I learned how to drive in the fall, and I got that snow a lot during that time. And I don't know when my mom learned to drive.
Yeah, these are definitely weird messages that people have left on his phone. But I don't know if that's the first
no.
memory or it might be the last thing somebody
Probably
remembers.
going to school. I can't sleep because the trees are scraping against my window, and it reminds me of a tongue scraping against my skin.
So that person does not eat ass.
What?
just let me go ahead and just ruin the stream by keep bringing that up.
I'm about to cross an ocean. I worry about my dog. Can't sleep anywhere near a place. The gas is sold. Not when it's being sold, but when it's not being sold. It was tough to hold on to this thing, but yeah, my hands are pretty damp.
Okay. That one was worth it.
I remember the number 10 in a flashcard with a turkey on it. It had a yellow background. The frogs are too loud.
One of these has to just be water, right? Oh, also, he's got a bear in his apartment. I don't know. Did you guys see that already? I didn't see that. Yeah. No, it is the voicemail guy. He's the one from the thing we just played. Yeah. Instead of a man eater. Okay.
Not a whole lot. I guess I was walking. I was in a stroller in Treetop Park, Florida. My mother accidentally pushed me into a spider web. I freaked out a lot. That's the first thing I remember. We were sent for.
I want to hear somebody who recorded water sounds.
I keep hearing these noises whenever I close my eyes. It's like bells ringing. But the bells aren't metal bells or ceramic bells. They're kind of bells like memory here. They're like this weird. I can't even describe the material. It's just resonant. This ringing resonance. And as soon as I open my eyes again, there's nothing. I remember driving across an old dirt road. My birthday at the party at McDonald's in Hawaii. I got a toy that I didn't like. I broke it. Getting caught next to the jungle gym. I was crying so bad. Monster truck rally that my parents take me out, and they missed it. One of those two. Seriously? Whether I wear boots or sneakers, my feet always feel damp. Cold and damp.
There's a guy who's holding a snake.
Well, I was hoping that you'd be able to tell me why I can't sleep. It seems like it's been a long time, and it seems like it's been it's time to sleep now.
So I'm curious. Maybe I don't remember if we got to a point where one of the extensions was for trouble sleeping. That might have been something we missed.
End of new messages.
Don't you go diving in too. It's actually really cold and kind of dangerous. Did he say where he was going? He's looking for the good stuff. I see, still thirsty. I don't have issues sleeping. I just choose to be streaming video games at 1:15 a.m. during quarantine. Kate keeps some diet soda in the broom closet, but you didn't hear it from me. It's next to the bleach. Bring a flashlight. Oh no, I don't think that's what he's looking for. So many important messages. Every single one. Where are you headed tonight, small man? I'm looking for my family. Looking for a new family or a family you lost track of? I don't know. I met Ezra earlier tonight. He's been very helpful. I'm hoping we can return the favor once we get back above ground. This poor kid was sleeping at the bus station and just lost track of his folks. He'll be alright. He's more at home down here than any of us. Trust me, I have an eye for it. What I'm saying is, we shouldn't find his family, but we should leave him in the caves. Summer. Kate, thanks for calling. How are you feeling? Pregnant? Couldn't get settled in bed, so I was just watching TV, some cooking show about high-concept junk food, and everyone from my high school chemistry class was there making cupcakes out of old bicycle parts. Oh, this was the dream. I think I might have dozed off a bit, actually. Honestly, this baby can come out whenever he wants. I'm completely over it. Good for you. You sound really confident. Oh, it's all an act. I'm actually... Phone line makes a horrible sound. Oh god, the phone's down here is such a mess. Hey Kate, I really appreciate you checking in. I have your pager number and so does Eric, just in case I'm too distracted or whatever. I'll let you go. I should try to eat something. Munch on a bitter hedgehog cap. That should relieve some of your intestinal discomfort. Just eat a bunch of mushrooms while you're pregnant. Maybe I'll just chew on some ice. Talk to you soon, Kate, hopefully. Just checking in on a client. Did I mention I'm a birth doula? Wow, how does that fit with being a tugboat captain? Someone may choose to come labor on the boat, actually. For the rest, I have a backup, just in case I can't get back to dry land in time. I've been lucky and only had to lean on her a handful of times, out of several hundred births. You'd never believe how many people are just born all the time. Is everything okay? Everything's great. Sounds like she's ready. Some women just know. It's amazing. Others are caught totally by surprise. Your friend went back aboard. He's been drinking a bit. Oh, I should have pointed him towards the head. Nadia, I'm glad you phoned. I was just thinking of you. Sorry I didn't call you this week. I've been traveling constantly. You're sitting by the phone waiting for my call. That's so nice. That's fine. I visited the hospital yesterday. I went to visit Uncle Andreas, but they moved him. Now he's in a hospice care facility run by some old Polish nun. Everyone says it's very nice. So this is Clara. Were we introduced to Clara, or did they meet her at the bar? I want to say they met her at the bar, but we didn't because we watched the tapes. I asked him about visiting, and he said he didn't want any visitors. He's just being stubborn. Typical of Andreas. I was thinking maybe if you came to visit, he would see you. All those afternoons you two would go drink beers by the river. Don't you think it would mean a lot to him if he could say goodbye to you in person? Oh, Nadia, I'd never make it back in time anyway. It's true, you're a long way from home, Clara. I suppose it can't be helped. Well, here's Mother at the door. We're going to try again to see him. I hope the tour is going well. Love you. Be careful. My sister back home, she's very depressing to me this morning. My uncle Andreas is terminally ill and refusing visitors, and Nadia is making a stir about it. Sorry to hear that. Are you close? Yes, but only recently. He lived abroad for most of my life. I only met him a few years ago. My sister is older, so she knew him as a child, too. So I think her respect for him is distorted by sentiment. We must always take the dying at their word. Their motivations are beyond our understanding. The older man, he's swimming back to the Mammoth. No emergency, I hope. He's looking for the toilet. Oh, is it that she didn't get that he's been drinking alcohol? She just thinks he's just been drinking and has to pee. Well, I hope he finds it before we embark. He seems unsteady on his feet as it is. Brandon approaches. I don't suppose any of you folks are headed past the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces. On this run, we'll be coming back that way in a few hours. Well, I may still be here then. It's no big deal. I'll just hang out and read something until it's time to head back to work. Hey, you folks are traveling with that old guy, right? With the leg? Is he okay? Saw him earlier tonight. He came by the storage facility for some files. He totally bit it on the staircase. He's okay though, right? He just seems preoccupied to me. Yeah, I got that feeling too. Basically, at the back at the storage facility, he was asking a lot of weird questions, and he seemed distracted, like spiritually. I don't think we asked any questions at the storage facility. I think we just listened to the sermon. But well, have a good night or morning, almost. Water sounds and delicate synthesizer music. That right there is Ratliff Monuments. If you ever need a headstone carved for a loved one, I mean. Violet Ratliff, never married, nevertheless bore 6 children. Earl, Carrie, Kelly, Barb, Ron, young Earl, and Beauty. And for each birth, she locked the doors of Ratliff Monuments for only one day, even with young Earl when she was in labor for 36 hours. Yikes. Well, that's what folks said. No matter, and I believe them. She had the unyielding disposition of a cliffside. None of Violet's children had any desire to go into monument making. Beauty thought it was all a bit ghoulish. There's some truth to that. Very little demand for monuments to the living, after all. The run of the shop fell at last to young Earl, the only Ratliff still at home when his mother finally passed at 82, and who then had the honor of engraving her headstone. He's done well for the most part. The shop was damaged in a flood several years ago. The showcase, a mock cemetery out front, was mostly washed away. Stone monuments bobbing violently in the first torrents of the flood eventually sank and spread along the channel bottom downriver, an elongated graveyard for no human loss, visited by eyeless fish and adorned with indifferent wreaths of algae. If a few stray stones ended up at the bottom of Lake Lethe too, we'll never know. I don't know, does the audio level seem okay to you guys? It's a little bit low on the mixer. It's plenty loud in my headphones though. Okay. Young Earl is the last of his short line professionally, and there's nobody around qualified to carve his monument, so he's already claimed one of those at the bottom of the river for himself. Shannon Ezra, the old man, and I stopped at the Radvansky Center to make some quick cash. Act 4, Scene 5. The Radvansky Center. Mimi, good morning. Jen, Bags isn't feeling well. Long night. Mimi, poor kitty. Jen, what are you watching? Mimi, security tape from last night. Daryl left the lights on again. Should we slash his tires? Jen, I'll leave a stern note on his desk. Mimi, spare the rod. What are we doing today? Right. This is weird. You know that old vending machine? The one that only has tomato juice? No. The old one they just stopped refilling, remember? We rolled it out onto the dock last August and some scavenger stripped it for metal in the middle of the night. Daryl cut his hand cleaning up after them, and it got infected, remember? No. Okay, anyway, the rest of it ended up in the coat room until finally Daryl was piling it into a big bag for the trash barge to pick up, and he came across this box lost behind all the junk. Check it out. This looks old. Yeah, there's a bunch of videotapes and completed questionnaires. I looked up the reference number, and it's never been processed, so I guess that's what we're doing today. There's no date on it. We'll just have to make one up, unless there's some footage of a calendar or something in there. Haha. I guess these are old tests before we started doing the video exit interviews. That's annoying. Yeah, let's see how did we do this? I'll run the tape, you interpret the questionnaire, and I'll type it up. Is this going to be WASD? No, let's click. The modernist bookshelf with fancy vintage turntable. So ostentatious, so Daryl. What? That was my bookshelf. Oh no, haha. But you, grew out of it or something, right? It ended up in the lab somehow. keep my books in a pile now. It's easier to find what I'm looking for. Never, what shelf is that book on? Only, well, it's somewhere in the pile. Pragmatic. Wow, I haven't seen that poster in a while. I think that was mine from college. Yeah, definitely. Oh right, Daryl swapped it out in the redesign. Now it's... What's there now? Yeah, it's that weird... I can't picture it. I mean, I can picture the wall, and there's definitely something hung there. That's gonna bug me. Want me to go look? It's just down the hall. Haha. No, it's okay. This should be some basic information and the first control test. Subject's general disposition. Jen looks over the questionnaire document from the envelope. Why are you here? It's a scheduled ferry stop, not my final destination. Homesick. Demographic category. What's the first thing you remember? Remember spilled orange juice. Immigrant. Do you think we should use the old categories or the new categories? Oh right, will the computers even still take the old ones? They're still in the menu. Okay, in that case put in precarious. Sure. Oh, I forgot. Name? It says Marquez on the file. Whoa, Marquez, are you sure? That's what it says. Do you know her? That can't be, no, that's not her. Did she come alone or with a group? I don't know. There's an extended monitoring tape here too. We could check on the dock when she showed up. Oh, it's... Wait, who is that? That guy in the hoodie. What? I've never seen him before. Really? He looks so damn familiar. I thought maybe he was a former intern or something. He's a little old for that, right? No, I don't recognize him. Sorry, you're all deja vu this morning. It's spooky. Sorry, just one of those days, I guess. No, definitely not. Oh, she's traveling with one of those creepy distillery guys. Him? Nah, he just looks like some old drifter. Maybe you're right. It's hard to tell in this light. I guess the old man is on digging guard duty. A noble assignment. So who was this lady? Oh, right. Do you remember WEVP TV? No. Okay, it was a community television station. The Consolidated Power Company had to fund it as, like, a punishment for owning too much of the broadcast spectrum or something. Oh, they used to screen your videos, right? Yeah, it was like a co-op. I did some maintenance and they gave me a slot to show my work. And they had that naked banjo guy late at night. Yeah, that's mainly what everyone remembers. I guess their whole mandate was community expression. He was certainly expressive. Oh wait, was WEVP the one that... the flood, right? Yeah. Damn. So Shannon Marquez. Did she have a naked banjo show too? What? No. Let me guess. Which of the following sentences best describes you? I grieve for fading memories, or I am haunted, unable to forget. She had an exercise show. No, I've never heard of Shannon Marquez. It was a Weaver Marquez I knew. She worked at the station for a bit. And then she left on kind of weird terms, actually. Anyway, where were we? Okay, how do we rank her from the control test? Without turning around to look, please describe the following objects. Bookshelf. It's covered up by the the text. Oops. Okay. I meant to click on a different one, but that's alright. It's shaped like a snake. It's shaped like a Transformers coil. It's nondescript. It reminds me of a museum. Poster. I remember circles. Chart of resistor values. God, that's such a pain in the ass. Vintage advertisement for vacuum tubes. Lighting. One lamp. Average, I guess. Average. Okay. Is it 4 shelves? Because that's what I was going to try to do. Oh, now I have to remember other shit. Can I go over this way? I think if I go over here... Oh, I can. Kind of. It doesn't do me any good, though. Okay, so we got a diamond up here. We got, the wings and the pointy thing. We've got apple and pear. How many pictures did she remember? 2, or actually maybe 3. What? She wrote down orange, strawberry, guava. Guava? I think she meant the pear. See, that's why I hate this test. There's so much fruit that basically just looks like other fruit. Oh, guava. Does a guava even look like a pear, though? I don't think I've ever seen a guava. I thought they were pink. They're just pink on the inside. You wouldn't confuse a real guava for a real pear, but in one of Daryl's crude watercolors. But I can still clearly tell that's a pear, even on video. Yeah, you and I can, but we already know it's a pear. She could be remembering wrong or just identifying what to her is a much more likely fruit to appear in a painting based on any number of cultural, social, geographic, She didn't say anything in response to help clarify. Let's see. Please describe in detail any sensations that accompany your memory of the pictures. Remember the way the fruit tastes. Is everybody awake now? Sorry. Guava is just like candy. It's almost unnatural. My mother gave me some mashed up guava once to cure a toothache. Just to cure a tooth. Gracias. No, really, just some sensory memories of guava. Guess we should skip the pictures. That's a shame. It's really hard to measure memory degradation in some of the later tests without this one as a baseline location updating scenario. Gesundheit. I've been saying we should just use photographs. Watercolor paintings already have the quality of half-remembered dream anyway, like they're inviting you to forget them, or maybe somebody else already forgot them for you, like a mama bird feeding her chicks cotton candy. Photographs are It's not that they're really more accurate or true, but we think they are. They put you in that mindset. They have authority. So yeah, out with the watercolors, I say. But then poor Daryl would have nowhere to exhibit his work. Jen, look who it is. Aw, I miss that kitty. I forget what became of the white one. Her name was Coconut, and she disappeared without a trace. Easy come, easy go. Wouldn't say easy. I had to leave food on the dock for a week before she'd come inside. She only stuck around for a month or two. You probably saw quite a lot of her. I remember you were working nights then. She was a nocturnal creature. That's right, I remember. Why does it give me my cursor icon? I'm going to talk to cat. Okay, I guess I'm not. Clicky. Did I grab something for the cat? Well, I have something in my hand at least. I think we're petting the cat. Cat eating noisily. Wait, I don't remember this test. Oh. Did we cut this one? What's the questionnaire like? No, this is just... Sometimes if I can't make it in for a few days, I might leave a note to feed the cats. For the test subjects? Wow. How do you know they'll do it? I write it on university letterhead? Jen, that is unethical. At least I don't use university property and research equipment to make weird video art. Very well then, I contradict myself. Haha. Wonder which is the nobler transgression. I'll settle that question. It's nobler to feed kitties. Oh, here's another extended monitoring tape from the waiting room. Busy night. There he is again, sleeping. Where do I know him from? It's going to drive me up the wall. Does he work at the university? Oh, that sounds familiar. Yeah, I think he might have worked there a long time ago. Maybe when I was an undergrad. Ah, the Paleolithic. I thought he looked a bit rugged. That's right, Jen. I went to college during the Stone Age. What was your major? Fire. I don't think he was a professor, maybe staff. It's been so long, sometimes I wish I'd just barreled through like you did, instead of taking time off before grad school. I'm sure it was the right thing to do at the time. Yeah, or the only thing. I was such a mess. Did I ever tell you about that? My boyfriend died suddenly in my last year of college. Oh, poor thing. It's okay. It was a long time ago, but yeah, it really shook me up back then. He was studying astronomy. We were both really into experimental music. We took a few art classes together. That's so sad. Sorry, never mind. No, it's okay. That's the thing, actually. I mean, that's what shook me up about it. It was just this random accident that never should have happened, and so sudden, you never could have seen it coming. He was back home visiting his parents, and he fell off a roof. Uh-oh. We know of a guy who fell off a roof. Damn, I know what you mean. You can't predict that kind of, freak accident kind of thing. My psychiatrist says that's why I'm such a pessimist. Well, I think you're remarkably upbeat, all things considered. I mean, you know, that thing with your boyfriend and the roof, but also what happened to the TV station. Acts of God. You think? No, I mean, that's what you call it. That's what you say when it's nobody's fault. go right. Oh, look, can you read the date? Damn, I can't read it either. May not have been current. I remember for a while we had a calendar up that was like years behind. I think Daryl liked the picture. What was it? Best friends. Every month there was a different pair of animals that were friends. That's adorable. I think I'm gonna be sick. You don't remember that? That weird intern brought it in from home. What was his name? Who? Oh, you remember. He was always like... I mean, we would make fun of him for... Damn, he's almost completely gone from my brain. So many interns coming and going then. I guess I didn't bother even remembering their names. I wonder who is working back when this was recorded. Is there a tape of the monitoring room? Yeah, here it is. Oh, before we check that out, did she flip the calendar forward or backward? Forward. Oh, weird. They usually flip it backward. Ugh, I'm getting kind of hungry. I probably have to call this soon. I think maybe after this segment, we'll see if it saves and quits for us. And if it doesn't, oh boy. We'll speed run it, I guess. There she goes. Wait, do you think... Did she follow them out? Oh, well, here's the last extended monitoring tape from the dock when they left. Uh-oh. So he told you he was one of the distillery guys. Guess you were right. These other guys came to pick him up for work, maybe? I don't like how they all hang out together. It's creepy. We hang out together and work together. Yeah, but it's not. They're like more than coworkers. I don't know. I just get this awful feeling whenever I see them. Like, I knew them once, but not anymore. Like when they make up a dead person to look like an old photograph of themselves. Oh yes, the famous Mishuk style, Ms. Suck style speedrun. I could just pause the stream and go eat. You guys want me to keep going, huh? Sort of familiar, sort of strange. Yeah, exactly. There ought to be a word for that. Yes, please. Okay. Bye, kitty. They look like nice enough people. I'm sure she's very happy with them. Yeah. So, this has been a bit of a memory trip for you, huh? I bet you didn't expect these old tapes to stir up so much. How does it feel for these people to come up again? Weaver Marquez and Wise Will. I mean... But she didn't remember Will. I mean, and what was your boyfriend's name? The one who died in college? Charlie. Yeah, it's kind of a bittersweet experience, actually. Like looking at photographs of people who've died or moved away. People that are gone. Gone but not forgotten. No, not forgotten, you're right. Okay. And of course, just holding my hand on the mouse cursor. Partly because it's on a sort of lap desk thing that if I don't hold it, it might fall off the chair. Look at those easels and tables on the beach over there. They call it an open-air gallery. They're probably something more upscale, like an alfresco galleria. They say it's a popular design in foreign cities, like Paris and New York. That may be true. The appeal is clear enough, I guess. Anyone can wander in and out. There aren't any walls or doors. There's no roof either. Just kind of thin cloth membrane. Not quite a sheet or a tarp, but more like a drape of rolled out spider web, looking like it might bunch up and dissolve if it ever got rained on. No concern down here for rain. Everybody thinks they're inside just because they can't see the sky, but it's a microclimate down here, and it surely does rain. Right now they're exhibiting some intimate photographs of small-town life. The highlight of the show is a large print of an old man's face. There's one of a small girl playing in a puddle. Pictures all sort of run together. Photo is titled Walker. His eyes are kind of closing, or maybe opening. Probably closing, because of the scale of the thing. You can see all the crumbs in his beard. No, not food crumbs, crumbs from sleeping outside. Reviews have been good. It's a popular show, probably because of its relevance. The town depicted in these photos was very recently flattened to make way for a big museum project. Well, I think we've got a forage for mushrooms. But, if possible, I might like to escape here. I don't think I have food that's just ready to go. I think I have to go cook something. So, I don't think I can come back. It might be like, 30 to 40 minutes. We are up to 7 viewers. Yeah, I think this game's pretty chill, so hopefully it's helped some people who might have been up late to fall asleep. Let's see. Is this going to give me a chapter heading? Yeah, there's scene heading. So, that's probably where it's going to save, at a grove. Let's see. Text size human, lion, cat. Oh, I see. Okay. Controls. No gamepad. Oh, I suppose I could I could use a controller. Keyboard controls. That might be nice. I don't know what that means, but just to give my arm a break with the awkward way I'm sitting. Logging. I don't know what that means. Play until you encounter something, an image, a sound, a choice of words, a notable absence that reminds you of someone else in the room. Pass the control of the game to that person. You don't have to explain yourself. And so on. Interesting. I was wondering about that. Okay. I think back to the circle, exit the game. I don't know what back to the circle means, but